Oh yeah, we won't have an intro video, so this should just be us popping in like it's real, like it's
Cool.
super real. I don't even know how to check this. I think we have to go to YouTube. Are you on YouTube?
I'm on YouTube. I am refreshing at the moment. Let's
Are
see.
we live, Chris?
Are we live? That says stream 2 days ago. Let's double check. Live show
Yeah,
Thursday night.
we are live. Our thing's not changed. What's that? The thumbnail?
Oh, it's using the old thumbnail.
Yeah, yeah. We can do that
It's
on
on
the
the
back
top.
end.
Yeah, absolutely. This is
Yeah.
what episode is this? This has got to be like
Oh,
46, ladies and gentlemen. I think question mark.
yeah. Shoot, we're coming up close to a year, which is 52 when George realized that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I got to do some hobo producing because George is not with us. So we just got old game show working. We figured that hurdle out that's normally stopped me and Chris in the past.
TV.
So we got through that, which is awesome. And now we are streaming live on Thursday night talking about things. And there's plenty
I
of
have
things to
verified.
talk about.
Damn right. Our audio is working. I double checked YouTube, so we won't have any issue with that. But cool. I'm super excited. We've got some stuff coming up. I think a lot of stuff actually coming up. Like freaking Adepticon. I'm pretty stoked, man.
Dude, I'm super stoked. George normally at this time of year is going to be putting out Road to Adepticon stuff, but this time he's not getting the wolves, he's just getting the wolf board. But he is also getting the kill team that I've made for Black Templar, which I'm excited. Let's see if I can disappear real quick and come right back. You can look at Chris's face until then.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? You now see my face, maybe. But yeah, Road to Adepticon. I guess we're gonna be leaving here. What, Tuesday or Wednesday?
Yeah,
Right? Question
I
mark.
think Tuesday evening is what you guys are planning after Ali and stuff get off work.
Yeah, that'll be cool, man. I'm super excited. I mean, the drive's kind of murderous, but
I've made it once, but I'm coming out there for Nova, man. I got my tickets, even though you didn't.
damn it, Connor! If only I wasn't playing 40k.
But yeah, since George is not having the Wolves, it's not as many bat reps, and also he's out of town this week for a wedding. Man went fishing all day and now is grilling up that fish, so he cannot join us this evening because I guess he'd be rude to the host. Makes sense, right? But
Indeed. Got Mark Robles watching us.
this is something that he can be excited about.
Yeah. I am going to try to do the same thing I did last year. Oh man, that's really pretty, man. That's super cool.
Yeah, this is thanks to the channel. I mean, they're the ones who made this thing a real thing, you know?
Thanks to viewers like you.
Because, like, I would have never picked Black Templar and made a kill team army. But this is what happens when I decide that I want to make a kill team army. I make a whole kill team army.
You make more than the army, the board, the bases. I mean, everything short of the models is literally everything short of the plastic in the models is your production.
Yeah, but it's for the hobby, man. You gotta take fun seriously. And part of my fun is making it look cool. And then also part of my fun is whooping ass. So hopefully George made a good enough list, because I still have yet to play Kill Team, that I can use these guys to win a couple games. Hopefully, let's say, win it all?
I
Question
think it
mark?
could happen. It'll happen.
Uh,
It,
I'm pretty excited.
I've heard you say once that anything you put your mind to, you could be the best at. I believe in you, sir. Just go out there. You take your little sniper guy, kill all their leaders. Let them know that you're here to dominate Kill Team
Dude,
forever.
I was telling Robles that I think beginner's luck's a real thing, and this is a dice game. So luck is a big thing, and I have yet to play. So, like, I'm just going in with beginner's luck. Like, I'm going to come to the table with that thing, and you're going to think I know how to play. You're going to think I love this game. I still have yet to ever play it or, like, understand the concept of really, like, what these tokens are for. Am I going to need tokens? I don't even know. That's how much I don't know about this game.
You might not.
So
Depend-
I feel this is going to be hilariously awesome because it's all day Friday, 2 events, morning, evening. It's going to be like 12 hours of Kill Team, and I've never played it, so this will be fun.
Yeah, it'll be dope, man.
Me,
I think you're gonna be pleasantly surprised. It's a surprisingly good game. I mean, it doesn't have the draw for me like 40k does, but at the same time, like, I mean, the other day, last week, I went to the game store to play kill teams. Like, I didn't want to play 40k. I was like, let's play some kill team.
yeah, I don't ever think I would say that. I'd rather play some 40k.
Yeah.
But speaking of 40k, man, Chaos, like what I play, what I've currently been 3 weeks at top of ITC standings for Chaos Space Marines, like is coming out with new stuff, and it's supposedly Demonkin, which is just basically demon engines, Hellforged demon engines. So we got a new HQ coming. I have no idea how to say his name, but it's a dude on a spider, or a mini Mauler Fiend, a starved Mauler Fiend. Kind of looks
Yeah. Well,
starved.
it's called some in the. They have a name for it on the trailer.
Yeah, it's like Lord something or another.
But even the creature he's riding, they call it like a hell skirter or something ridiculous.
Do you think they're gonna come out with like ones that you don't ride?
I don't know. That's a good question, actually.
Like, can you take a squadron of them? Question
Hmm.
mark.
I mean, if you assume that they are, maybe that would be like a Carnifex equivalent for Chaos, since my Carnifexes are running like 88, to like 110 points. Maybe you can feel those kind of cheaply. Who knows?
Well, I think with the rules to add wounds to him, and if this guy's like a warp smith that actually allows him to heal a wound, you can then give his wound and make it 3 wounds back to like whatever he's like around, and like that could be pretty cool.
Definitely. I mean, he's honestly. I saw that model. I think this is the reaction everyone had. That model is like one of the coolest things that Game Workshop has ever put out. Like, it is so grimdark, just mechanized evil. I mean, even the guy's rules they've teased are fluffy. Like, he buffs your machines and he debuffs enemy machines because he's, like a tinkerer.
Yeah,
Um,
but his debuffing is only a 6-inch bubble to
yeah, I'll be
like
honest.
vehicles. Like it's pretty
It's
rough,
not really
man.
good. It's not
Like
really good.
I don't even see the situation that's really gonna happen. Like besides a knight, and it's like the knight's probably not even gonna shoot you. It's probably gonna shoot other things and then stomp on you.
I completely agree with you because somebody in our 40k chat was mentioning like, oh, -1 hit aura, and I was like, I don't think you read that right.
Yeah, no, that was Robles.
Oh yeah. That was Robles, and yeah,
Yeah.
like I remember seeing that. I was like, oh, that's a fluffy rule when I read it, but that's why I had to double check when Robles said something because I was like, oh, is this way better than I thought it was? Like,
Oh, dude, if it was like a 12-inch bubble, even I'd be okay with it because you could play that dude pretty aggressive just to screw over some other dudes. But eh, at 6 inches, that's rough. But the counter to it, the +1 to hit, does make demon engines plausible to play. You can actually see a Molar Fiend being played. You can actually see like um, Forge Fiends being played, Defilers, a Soul Grinder even. Wait, no, Soul Grinders are demons still. Can't bring them in the Legion.
so this is the
Shuts.
model is the what's it called? The Lord Discordant is his name. He's not a named character. Let's see if I can find the name of the creature.
He's not a name character, so not unique. So you can hear those.
Correct. And
Interesting.
he rides a Hellstalker is the name of it. But yeah, that's super cool. His shooting isn't super impressive. He's got the choice between the autocannons or the Bale Flamers. Aura of Discord, which is -1 to enemy vehicles within 6 of him, and add 1 to hit rolls for your vehicles that are demon engines. So that's, I mean, as you were saying, good for like Mauler Fiends and whatnot. The synergy, obviously, with the Invuln. I mean, the big thing is getting that 4-up Invuln on your big guys, I think is such a game changer.
Um, yeah, I mean, Cursed Earth is awesome. Like that's good. It's going to be huge. But it's like now you got to pair that with the new like summoning guy that's in the
Yeah.
new box set, and it's like, dude, you're getting into some rough territory of like having to buy new models to play this new style of play because like it's been dead for so long. So it's like some people could dust off some Mauler Fiends and Forge Fiends, but other than that, you gotta be buying new stuff.
Yeah. What's up, Towdark? What's up, Black Tower? Black Tower, I was enjoying your commentary. I was watching somebody's live show, like on Tuesday or Monday on my Xbox, and you were talking to them. Oh no, it was. I think it was the Spiky Bits guys on. Like they were playing a game of Gene Stealer Cult versus I don't remember.
Orcs?
Yes, that's what it was. That was a solid game to watch. I enjoyed that. Gene Stealer Cult lost, but
I caught some of it.
spoilers for their content. Anyways, I digress. Yeah, no, it's cool. I like the set. The models look good. Something I kind of mentioned before too. Like we're seeing the Chaos Commissar model for Blackstone as well as a Chaos Ogryn. I've heard some talk that maybe that's going to expand because we've seen Death Guard and Thousand Sons come out with their loyal demons for their chapters or renegade chapters. We may see some elements of Traitor Guard join the what's it called, the Black Legion.
I want to see Corn Gores.
That'd be cool.
We need Corn Gores and some Berserkers. We need all that being new.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I will say I'm super happy about with the cult release, just because of what I happened to buy. I was pretty well off for it because the bikes are good. A lot of the new vehicles and whatnot, I kind of lucked out with the cult release and having most of the stuff I needed besides my aberrants, which, because of a recent occurrence that I don't really want to talk so much about, I've got to work on my aberrants some more.
I'll say it. You drove over him.
Oh, my heart.
Oh!
So for those listening, I left a box top with primed models in my garage, and my sister is visiting from college, and she knocked some boxes over, didn't pick up all the models, and a few of them ended up under my car, which I realized when I pulled into the garage again and heard a loud crunch. It was not a good feeling for anyone who was curious. But
Pour one out for the homies.
yeah. Luckily, after some appraisal, the damage wasn't anywhere near as bad as I thought. I thought like I lost like 70% of my aberrants. I probably with some TLC can drop that number down to like 20% of my aberrants. So that's happy, but damn it, James. But it seems like God hates my Gene Stealer cult because before the cult codex came out, there was a flood and a bunch of stuff that collapsed in the crawl space of this home that damaged a lot of my cult prior to the codex. So
hey,
I'm
dude, you're just earning it, man. You're just earning it.
Exactly. Like this is the price I have to pay to have an army that's so amazing.
Hey,
but it's okay.
If you haven't listened to Jocko Wilkins, good. I'm sorry, but that's all I can say.
I appreciate that.
But,
I'm gonna have to watch that video again.
Yeah. Also, in Age of Sigmar, well, corn related, they're getting some new corn stuff for Age of Sigmar. One of which, 40k wise, is the Skull Taker, which I think is the most 40k or just Warhammer of all Warhammer models. Like the dude is so cool. I'm excited to get that little guy.
If you like skulls, that's the model you want.
Yeah, and then they're coming out with corn terrain and like prayers, or I guess like endless spells, but they're prayers. I don't know nothing about the AOS stuff. I'm sure George, if he was here, he would be going on and on about it. But what I'm kind of like curious about is they have a piece of terrain that's coming out that in AOS it's free, but it's going to have 40k rules. So I don't think it's going to be free. But the last chaos type of terrain we saw was the Narmal tree, and that thing is a beast. Especially with all these new like Forge Fiend, Mauler Fiend type combos that can be coming, it can start benefiting from that tree while having like all these cool like Demonkin rules that go along with it. Like I can see some nasty combos being created, especially with the Greater Possessed and the Poxbringer, adding the extra +1 strengths, like going double up on it, getting an extra 2 strengths and all your Forge Fiends and shit. Like,
Yeah.
I think you can be a solid shooty and combat army and being pretty elite with your Cursed Earth and your +2 to cover. Like, I can just see some pretty cool combos happening, but I'm hoping Khorne can have the same with this new terrain. Like, a little altar that does out some mortal wounds and gives us some Deny the Witches. I'd be down.
Yeah, and I mean, especially if I don't want to wish something into existence, but like, we've seen with the assassins, you have the ability to possibly play something like maybe they'll give you the option to like summon it in for a command point or two instead of like just eating a detachment for it. Because now there's kind of a precedent for that. I mean, we haven't seen it more than once, but I mean, maybe if they come out with some kind of coordinate something detachment, they would unlock it for like, oh, just pay 2 command points, summon in the tree or summon in this. Because I mean, honestly, fortifications eating a detachment is a big hurt.
I agree. That is a hurt because I have found that hurt trying to find the magic for Possessed, and it just wasn't there. I'm hoping I can relive these type of anguishes of building lists around Possessed with these new models coming out. I'm excited about the new Havocs. Like, I don't even know how they're going to release all this stuff because they have this box set that comes out on Saturday. People already got their pre-orders in. And then I'm thinking the next week, Abaddon, maybe the week after that, this dude. Or are they going to roll some other stuff in there with it, like the Havocs? Like, are we going to get, like, Berserkers, please? Like, I want Berserkers. We need new Berserkers.
It'd be cool. Yeah, that when's the last time they got models even? I mean, it's been a little bit.
That's an old kit. It was well before I was in this game.
It's plastic though, right?
It is plastic. It is plastic.
Yeah. I remember it getting redone in my playing time, but I think only once. Which, yeah. But beyond that, not to distract entirely from the chaos, but just something we touched on the prior week as a blurb on the Road to Adepticon thing. We've had another official announcement from the Adepticon crew.
Yeah.
It was already announced in the 40k competitive thread prior, but they've officially put out the word that, dear Genestealer Cult, you do not have turn 1 assaults at our event.
Yeah, they sent out the email to people that are registered in those events.
So if you're planning on turn 1 Genestealer Cult assaulting, don't do it. It's not gonna work.
It's almost like the people that still try to do the dark matter crystal and then warp time afterwards. Can't do both, bro. You just can't do both.
Juan or is the other?
Yeah, it's I think it's interesting that they said like they had to make the hard call, but like GW told them.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess that they have to like kind of like not own up to the fact that they have the rules in advance, even though everyone knows they have the rules in advance, being playtesters with some of their crew.
Dude, but not just playtesters, you got a rules writer as one of the head judges.
Yeah.
Like, but that guy can make on the call judgments and it's law. Like like you almost have to follow him around. You can write an FAQ just from following him around and having conversations.
I want him to just show up for like the 3rd and 4th player table and just fuck with them. Be like, nope, can't do that.
He gets drunk on power.
Yeah, exactly. But just that would be amusing, although dramatic. But I don't know, man. I'm super excited. I mean, last time I went to Adepticon with you guys, I had a complete fucking blast. It was great.
Dude, I'm just hoping we get into the champs. Like, us 3 are going to be walking up there like, I'm on the waiting list. This guy's really far on the waiting list. This guy said, fuck me on the waiting list. We're just going to try to ask. And hopefully it works.
It'll work.
Yeah, because champs is so much fun. Like, you just get to play so many different people. Yeah, you might get one crushing defeat because, like, you play against one of the top dudes that's going to go on to the day 2. But after that, like, the pack evens out, and you just have so many good games. And it literally is a party. Like, like, this fool didn't even get tickets. He's traveling across the country just to go because he knows he's going to have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Like actually, so kind of funny story. I met up some people. I was in Tennessee recently, and I was talking to this guy online who like he was telling me about his game scene and like he was kind of crowdsourcing some pointers, like like what should we do? Like they've struggled developing their scene, and obviously we have just been like super fortunate out here because we have battlegrounds and all that nonsense. I mean, we're just throwing like 44-man event after 44-man event. It's great, but like for 40k. But I actually convinced him and his crew that have never been to a GT before. They're coming up to Adepticon just because, like, they aren't signed up for games either. They're like, yeah, dude, like you just like it seems like there's gonna be a lot of stuff going on. Like we'll come up and just play. Like I was like, dude, that sounds great. Like I think it's gonna be a very, especially for a bunch of people that like have not gone to a GT yet. Because dude, the first time I went to Nova, it was like eye opening. I was like, oh my god, what? This is ridiculous. The hobby is amazing.
I'm excited for Nova for my first time. Like, I'm pretty excited.
Nova was great.
It sold out so quick, though. I think the people that said they were going to go with me didn't get tickets, and I don't think they're going to be as brave as you, so I might be flying out solo.
I'm committed, sir. I'll be there.
Ha! You gotta be.
I'm super excited. So, like, I've recently been in changing jobs, and like that's been a point of like me talking to all my employers. I'm like, yeah, heads up, I'm gonna be gone for like a week. like I know you're trying to hire me like right now, but like Adepticon is more important. I can get a job after Adepticon.
And that's a guy that doesn't even have any events signed up. If that's not a testimonial for how cool Adepticon is, I don't know what is.
You should go. You should go to Adepticon. It's fun, man. I mean, first of all, I mean, if you live in a state where your alcohol laws suck and you're a drinker, like it's a nice experience just for that.
Yeah, the mob has written the laws on how you can drink around here, and you can just drink like it's water.
and plus, dude, I mean, even like I've heard so many shout outs for specific teams. This team last year that went in like full cosplay and like they were handing out some really awesome drinks. Like there's such a like kind of like social party culture, and it's not like just like get wasted, but like it's I mean that's what I was doing a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude,
but
you had a judge come over to the table and ask if you're okay.
Listen, man. Okay, so I was almost that guy that had to be asked if I need help from like a hospital. The guy who won the sportsmanship award for like calling an ambulance for his opponent. I was almost the opponent that needed the ambulance. But like,
and to think,
that is,
we had you hold the camera for the top table because we lost the tripod. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
That's just evidence of the fact we were all having a good time because clearly logic went out the window. But
and it's only 2 weeks away, man. 2 weeks away. It's going to be another great time. We'll put out lots of content. I plan on filming my kill team experiences. Don't expect great quality kill team. Just expect hilarity. I'm hoping my opponents don't get frustrated with me because I am going to be the guy that says they're WYSIWYG. So what you see, just tell me what I got to roll. Just tell me what I got to roll. Like I don't know what the names of these things are. Just tell me what I got to roll. I'm going to win. You can give up now. I'll buy you a drink. Let's do this. Like, that's how I expect my whole day to go. And, like, it's going to vary between how funny that is. And I'm going to
go 3-0 over and over and over. It's going to be like, you're dead. You lose.
I just can't wait till I get matched up with, like, George. Just because. And it's like, dude, I'm going to win this. And I'm going to talk the most shit. And, like, that one, we are not going to time-lapse. Like, that is going to be slow-mo. I want to hear like, everyone needs to hear me enunciate the shit-talking that is going to go on while he tries to move his slow-ass Gellerpox around while I'm just going to be like, look at my display board off to the side. It's cooler. And I painted all of this, even your army. So I just win.
I was going to say, can George even win Best Painted? Like, if they're doing judging, like, in between interims, like where you're playing him, like I feel like you should just get credit for both armies.
Dude, honestly, I don't even think I'm going to be like competing to Best Painted, man. There's so many good like painters out there that show up, And like Kill Team is like the perfect little like game that you can play and participate as if you're like a painter that like paints all the time.
I mean, your work is stellar, sir. There's no doubt about that.
Dude,
You're
I ran out of black. I had to get more black, so I just got more black
oh,
today so that I can
Jesus.
finish these Black Templars because the blending isn't perfect on a couple of them.
Oh man, I can't tell you the last time I ran out of black. But to be fair, I also stocked up on some Badger Air Color, white and black, because I'm a big fan of their specific pigments for those.
Dude, I'm a fan of Styler Res Primer. It's my favorite primer, and I'm out of black on that. But it's okay because I like secret. I use tattoo inks because they have so much dark, like so much pigment in it that it like can change the color of anything. So like I'll use my gray primer and I'll just put a couple drops of my black ink in it, and it's black. It's black.
That's awesome. How does I'm just curious, like on a price point, how does that compare?
Oh, I have no idea. I just have a shit ton of tattoo ink that I haven't used in a long time, so it is perfect for it.
That's awesome.
I think you can get a bottle I use is like $12, but it's ink,
That's not
so
bad.
it's
Yeah.
not like paint, so it goes a long, long way.
Yeah, yeah, no, especially because I mean it's gonna be really. I think that's something for me that I need to use more of because I know the inks deepen colors more to where washes, like highlight or deepen recesses. But like I had a black ink I picked up for my Space Wolves once, but it was like really cheap and I ended up not liking it.
Dude, these are fantastic inks. I don't know if you see these, but you can get them at like your art stores, like Hobby Lobbies, Michaels, Dick's Blicks. Fantastic
I've seen those
inks.
before. Yeah, I've definitely seen those before because once upon a time I did work at a Michaels.
Yeah, I don't know how much they are. I think they're like $12, maybe. No, they can't even be that much. I think maybe $8 for the bottle. And that stuff's fantastic if you want to make your own glazes.
Yeah, that's something I need to do more of as well. Really, kind of at your suggestion, when I was working on the weapon replacement for George's Angrath that he got secondhand, that was really my first experimentation with glazes at all. And I mean, you were a huge resource for that, admittedly. For anyone who doesn't know, James is a really good painter.
Dude, but I get really caught up with work, and as far as like multiple projects, like I've been leaving our main man Gordito hanging because I have been slowly working on this female and her awesomeness in between the kill team. And it's like I have a lot of motivation for the kill team, and I started off with a lot of motivation for her, but now I'm at like all the tiny detail and blending, and it's like the kill team's a little more fun. So I've been using
that's the model.
This is a Raging Heroes model.
Yeah, that's the one that has the crazy like a lot of like blade arm kind of thing.
Yeah, I got most of those finished. See,
that's a super cool model. I mean, for anyone who hasn't seen, check out that Raging Heroes model because that's, as far as I think like Slanesh line goes. I mean, I guess technically not Slanesh,
yeah,
but
it's not Slanesh, but it's truly the keeper of secrets. I mean, she's already like, shh. I call her Victoria. I don't know if Gordito knows that I call her Victoria, but I call her Victoria. It's Victoria's Secret.
Ah, man. I see no secrets, but I guess it does keep them.
And this little claw comes out like somewhere around there. And then she's got her sword. Her sword's pretty cool. Still got to do the blade on this one. I already did it once. I didn't like it, so I got to redo it. And then her base.
That's super cool on the sword. I'm watching it on the YouTube, so I got a little bit of a delay. But oh, dude, the base is really pretty. That looks like it could be a tier. Oh wait, actually, that makes sense.
Yeah, I put 6 spires on it, 6 skulls, keeping it 666 around here.
My God.
Well, dude, it's Slanesh's number,
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the god I was referring to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Channeling your George. But yeah. So what else is big in 40k right now?
Dude, the meta's gonna change. The meta's gonna change hard. with all these new Vigilus stuff. The second Vigilus book's going to be coming out in like a couple weeks. So probably it's going to be releasing right around Adepticon. So you're going to have that coming out. You're going to have the big FAQ after Adepticon, probably a month after like it was last year. But you're going to have, in the next 3 months, it's going to be a completely different game than it is today. I call it now because Assassins, all that stuff, like, it's going to be a completely different game.
I need everyone who's playing Genestealer Cult, everyone at Adepticon who's playing Genestealer Cult, I need you all to intentionally play really badly. I don't want to get nerfed. Let's all, as a faction, submarine this GT and then kick the shit out of Nova.
This may sound crazy, but I don't even think they're close to being even getting nerfed. As far as other things, like I really don't think they're going to get that nerf hammer that bad. And the main reason why I don't think they're going to get it that bad is because of how good and how bad players are with the army. Like, if you're an exceptional player, like, everything has to go right, and you can dominate games. But if you do not know your army in and out, you don't play test it over and over again, and you go up against a matchup you're not very familiar with, and you make one wrong mistake, it is truly a glass cannon where it's dominoes that just fall over. And like, haven't played them yet, but I've like dove into their rules. I've seen some bat raps with them, and honestly, and I've seen how they've done at tournaments. And it's like some players are going 5-0, other ones are going 3 and out, like, and they just give up because it's just not happening for them. And I feel it's a lot like how my army plays, because there's times where I get crushed at a tournament, and I'm like, and my friends are like, "Whoa, what happened?" I'm like, "Dude, it just went all downhill. Just all downhill. I failed every charge, like it was just bad." But then there's other games where I feel like unstoppable, where it's like, dude, bring on the Castellan, bring on all the guard.
So, Mike Van Dusky in chat, I got and he did, he's a Necron player, but he has his old Dark Angels army, and he did his little Deathwing Assault, and he threw 40 or 80 bolter shots at my Aberrant unit, you know, coming out of Deep Strike, and just like, I just made every single save. All of them.
You're an asshole.
You're an asshole. Like, it was monstrous because, you know, I have a 5-up save and then a 5-up Feel No Pain. I was like, 5-up, 580. Yeah, 80 shots. I mean, you wounded with at least 20 of them, which is about statistically nominal. I think it was maybe more than that, but like, it was bad touch. Like, my you know, I was rolling a lot of Warp Charge 6s. Those of you listening, you should order some Warp Charge gaming dice. They're great. But
they're truly fantastic. Except, like, they roll hot and cold, man. Like, I've gone so crazy hot on them, and then I've gone where it's like, dude, can I use your dice, please?
I feel like for the most part, I get the hotness out of them. But I also feel like in general, I'm a pretty lucky person when it comes to like matters of luck.
Oh, dude, where I love them the most is my demon save, dude. They get me 5-ups like it's none other. Like, I'll roll 12 dice and I'll get like 8 5-ups. Like, there's probably 4 6s and 4 5s, or like 5 5s and 3 6s, and like the other ones 1s and 2s. Like, there's no middle ground. Like, I do not feel 2-up with our dice. I feel safe rolling a 5-up with them.
I believe it. And yeah, so like, speaking on the cult, like, I agree they're probably not gonna get the nerf that some people are afraid of, but like, they are very glass cannony. Like, that's kind of, I've been trying to kind of quantify my experience with the cult versus my pure Tyranid list, because I felt like my pure Tyranid list, I was running a very monstrous creature spammy kind of list, and you know, I wasn't attending enough events that I could really tell you like, oh, like, it was doing amazing in the meta, but like, I feel like I was winning a lot of my games, like 75%ish, maybe 80, with this Tyranid army. However, I was always scoring an ITC. Like, the wins I was churning out were like 20 points, 22 points. Like, I wasn't scoring heavy. I was out surviving and killing a lot. Genestealer Cult, I feel like the low end scores I'm getting are like 27 points in ITC, but I have like no army left at the end of my games. It's an army that suffers significantly to attrition in a lot of cases.
Dude, that's
unless
exactly
you roll 5-ups.
That's how I feel about my army. Like, by the end of the game, I'm getting tabled. Like,
yeah,
if I haven't won the game, I'm getting tabled. Like,
Yeah.
it just happens so often, because once my screens are gone, I'm left with just a couple characters, and they just get shot off the board.
In that regard,
Unless they're a combat army, then we just have the greatest game ever in the middle of the board.
yeah. In that regard, they kind of remind me of Yannari a little bit. In the sense that, like, if you make a mistake, it can be extremely, extremely unforgiving. It's a very technical army. And, if you make a mistake, a smart opponent will make you pay grievously for it.
So are you running your cult more horde style or more elite style?
More elite style. A lot of people, I still think the best build is the Deliverance Brood Surge, at least 3 20-man blobs with the Rock Saws to get the Clamvis. You can get a 7-inch rerollable charge with that Vigilus formation, and the Pauper Princes, or not Pauper Princes, Cult of the Four-Armed Emperor, and that's the Agents of Vect, stratagem army. But I also think that it's a little bit of a one-trick pony. Like, you've got to take a lot of Alkalite hybrids, and those are at a price point that's extremely prohibitive for a lot of players. I was blessed to have had like at least 60 before the Cult Codex dropped, because literally buying like 20 of them will cost you almost $200. Um, so if you want to run this army, you better have some money. But I've been running a lot of 5-man blobs. One of the nice things with the 5-man blobs is that the Alkalite leader is leadership 8. So even though like one of the big weaknesses of the army is they're not super high leadership, if you take a 5-man squad, if you lose 4 of 5, you still have a 50% chance of passing your leadership if you leave your leader left. So I mean, that's literally scored me objectives with OBSEC and stuff like that. I think it's a solid army. I'm adding a lot more Tyranids to my army, like pure Tyranids, than I see a lot of cult players adding, because I feel like Genestealer Cult is not the best shooting army. It certainly has some shooting tricks, like,
Dude, I wouldn't even use them for shooting. Like, me going through their army, I absolutely love their combat aspect, and how MSU you can make your screens, but then you can go huge blobs, so that you can like maneuver them how you need to, and like a herd, but you can have the screens block off like your incoming chargers, because you have your blips first, and then like based off of your opponent's movement, then you can actually put an MSU unit there, sacrifice them, bring them in, and then your herd can take over. And it's like, dude, you can go away, come back. Like, I love the combat aspect of it. Like, the only shooting I even see is just the hand flamers. Like, get it.
Yeah.
Like, other than that, man, it's like the jackals are pretty cool, but I wouldn't even waste the points. I mean, that combo to make them do their crazy ballistics and movement, shooting, all that bull stuff. A
lot of command points.
Dude, that's like 7 command points. And not only that, but like, it's a super expensive unit that could get got. Like,
yeah,
if you misplay them, they got, and your whole like strategy just goes out the window. So I think that's almost a trap. I really like the Alkalite hybrids. I really like the aberrants. I don't even see pure strain Genestealers being that great, just because you don't get all your extra rules because they're pure strain.
Yeah, they were a big loser in that codex. Honestly, even I love Bladed Cog. It's not the most popular, cult creed, but like they have the stratagem for the exploding 6s or 5s versus Imperium or 4 versus Admech. That specifically also has the stipulation that you cannot use it on Genestealer keyword, and I'm like, that really sucks. Like, if I'm spending command points, like, they're still just Genestealers, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, a Barons can use it, and a Barons hit way hard. Like, that was actually one thing. I feel like I felt really dumb learning this recently. But the Pauper Prince cult creed is worded the same way as Belisarius Call, in the sense that it is not reroll failed hits, it's reroll all hits. That means that it is probably the only valid way, in my opinion, to run Hammer Barons, because of their -1 hit penalty. But yeah, just fun factoids. I'm still super excited to see Adepticon. Dude, I think Assassins.
I think the power picks are the way to go.
The picks are so good because there's so many ways to get extra attacks.
Yeah, dude. When like you think of all the combo, that's the scariest thing I saw diving in, is like how many attacks one dude can have. Like, you come into my cultist because like I screen out with them and I don't go super MSU besides the Nurglings. So it's like you pop into them, dude, you're gonna clear them out. and like that's gonna hurt me dramatically, especially if you already had a shooting phase on top of that. Too gross.
I mean, a 5-man squad of Alkalite hybrids is putting out 11 Rending Claw attacks and 5 Cult Blade attacks, which are like AP0 attacks. So it's a 16 attack squad for 33 points. No, 35 points.
Gross.
Yeah, that's gross. It's disgusting.
Gross.
Oh yeah, and on the 11 attacks, 6 is to wound or AP neg 4 instead of neg 1.
Gross. So earlier, when you were talking to me about like chaos and like if I was excited, yeah, I'm not as excited as if I had that kind of tool.
Yeah. That's the thing is that like it's been a week since Gene Stealer Cult dropped, and I still can't shut the fuck up about it. I apologize to everyone in the 40k thread.
Dude, I don't blame you, man. If that was my army, I'd be super hype about it. Like my army's getting stuff, and like I'm one of those people that are like, like I play Chaos Space Marines hard since 8th edition, since I took away Khorne Demonkin. So I've been trying to find like that heavy combo of like get into combat, wreck some stuff, plow into stuff, tie things up. So like you can have all the shooting in the world. I'm gonna run havoc on you. Like that's the type of play I love. And like it's hard to get that unless you have delivery systems. And there's not many delivery systems out there. So even with this new Chaos Space Marine stuff, like you're still stuck with cultists. You're still stuck with normal Chaos Space Marines because I haven't seen their rules get updated or anything. You're still stuck with all this dumb chaff, and you don't have a great unit that you can rely on to be a good troop. Like demons have it, but they don't share the same keywords that make it matter. And like that's where your like detachments become apart because you're not getting the command points needed to pull off the combos. So you have to take your own separate attachments. So you're still stuck with taking either Chaos Space Marines or cultists, unless you go Thousand Suns and you do the Zangors, or you go Death Guard and go actual Plague Marines, or even Poxwalkers. They're cheap enough and fearless that like you don't need any extra things to support them. Like yeah, you can bring Typhus to extra the toughness, but if you're just bringing them as chaff anyways, who really cares?
Yeah.
Like that's just how I see it. I mean, these demon engines are great, but you still need something out on the board because you need the command points to pull off your combos.
Actually, kind of speaking on that, that's probably the thing I'm most afraid of with a post-Adepticon FAQ is they're going to look at Alkalite hybrids and be like, oh yeah, those are too cheap.
I can see that. I can definitely see them going up in points.
I don't want them to, but if they went up 1 point, that wouldn't be a big deal. 2 points to where it starts to get kind of like.
Dude, they would only do 1 point a model and readjust their weapons.
I mean, even if the hand flamers, like I would rather see the model points stay the same and see hand flamers go up to like 2 or 3 points. Even though
that'd be brutal.
It would be brutal, but like
that's brutal. That breaks that combo, dude.
I'm so spammy MSU that I rarely have the points for the hand flamers anyway on a bunch of my guys. So like if they nerf those just because of the dickhead way I'm playing, like it wouldn't affect me. So I would rather they nerf things I'm not using. But simultaneously,
selfish.
What can I say? But big thing I'm actually interested in. Speaking on the Adepticons, what's up, Chris? You a 3D girlfriend like in Frankenhooker. But maybe you should get with George about that. I don't know what kind of like price tag they care. I don't know what kind of specs you're looking for. We can probably make it happen. I don't know.
Dude, anything is possible with enough money.
Exactly.
Elon Musk prove that.
We will render the hell out of some kind of Frankenhooker.
Dude, I'll put some servos in there to stroke you off real good.
My God, servos? See, we're already basically negotiating. But assassins. This is the first GT on top of Gene Stealer Cup where we're seeing assassins in play with the new assassins rules.
Did they make the cutoff?
Did they? Wait, did they not?
I have no idea. I know it was in February. I know that rule came out like around February. So I'm not sure if it made the cutoff or not. But if it did, it'll be super interesting.
I was assuming they did. Did they not?
I don't know. I wasn't paying close enough attention. All I was paying attention to is if the new Obliterators and Abaddon was going to be in the cutoff or not. And obviously they don't make the cutoff because they're just now getting released.
Does anyone watching know if Assassins made the cut? If someone help me. But because that's the thing that I'm most terrified, at least as a cult player. I mean that
Oh,
Vindicare is
dude,
just murder.
it's not a cult player; it's every player, man. Because like the whole idea of the fact that you can separate enough points aside to take just a little attachment of all three assassins, set it across the points so you can get more assassins if you want, but just the three, so that you're prepared for everything. You can literally make them work their points. Like they'll get their points. I have a kind of rule of thumb: if it can kill its worth within the course of the game, or it can hold an objective for at least 4 turns. If it can do that, it's worth its points. And I
Yeah, I
truly
agree with
believe
you.
an assassin can hold an objective. Like, so actually the Colexis, where you to engage with it, it's 6s. So it's like, that sits on an objective for 4 turns, no problem. So that's if you're not going against Psychers. Otherwise, if you're going against Psychers, he definitely pulls his weight. And then if you go against Horde, you have the one dude that can just chop them down. So like that dude's going to be good no matter what, because everyone has chaff, and you can always deep strike that dude in. So you can bring him where you need to bring him and do work, and he'll earn his points because it's only 80 something points. So he'll earn that and killing off one unit. And then you have the other one that's a sniper. If it can pick off one supporting character, it'll be worth its points. So
Certainly.
it's like I can see in every situation those assassins being good.
Yeah. Yeah, they add just a lot of variable play and utility, and I mean, there's certain armies, especially that I think, I mean, obviously with the option of 4 different assassins, you can really kind of sideboard and pick and play up against your opponent. But I am most afraid of the Vindicare. Ignoring invulns, shooting twice with stratagems. Oh man, they missed it. Now I have to get into champions because it's gonna be the only chance I can play cult without worrying about that damn.
Dude, that's what I was saying. It's like they came out in the end of February, that White Dwarf, and I think they missed that cutoff.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Vindicare with his kill shot rule on top of the ignoring invulns is just hot death.
That's why I like running Demon Princes when they got 8 wounds.
Yeah, I mean, because like literally, if you roll a 6 to what is it, a 6 to wound, where you get the extra mortal.
Yeah.
I mean, you could literally for 2 command points, if you're targeting just buff characters for cult, with the Vindicare on a good roll, kill 2 cult characters. So I mean, you could with one model score 2 headhunter points in a turn, or a butcher's bill, or there's a lot of things with ITC that you could score that way, or even just prepare it for future turns. You know what I mean? Because I mean, it's not like unless I have snipers, which with cult I do, but but like I mean, we could have a sniper shootout if you want, but you know,
Dude,
like
if I don't like characters that are like under 4 wounds or like that 4 wound area unless they're
yeah,
smaller. Like they're just way too fragile in this like meta, and the meta is just only going to get worse for them.
I
So
agree.
it's like I can't justify those type of characters unless I can hide them. Unless I have a way to hide them in terrain. Fucking, I'll put a damn tank in front of them. Just any way to hide them. Because, like, they are just dangerous right now living out there in that 40k universe. But a Demon Prince, he walks around just fine. Abaddon walks around just fine. Typhus walks around just fine. Like, all those type of characters, dude, they don't even care about these snipers. You waste the resources because they're already going to do what they're going to do.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. But yeah, I think that's gonna be so. Man, I guess we'll see Assassin's Impact at Nova, but by then we may see. I mean, obviously this Demonkin stuff's gonna be in play.
Yeah, and I can't wait for it, man. I mean, I'm not super excited for it, like as far as competitively, but I like that new models are coming. I like that it means new change in the meta because even like the slightest little bit of difference is going to change a lot.
Yeah.
As far as like your local metas and stuff, and with these new models, dude, people are going to get them. I'm going to get them, and I'm waiting to kind of see what I can do with them because I really love the idea of summoning stuff, having that sideboard when people have assassins that they're going to play to you. And like I have a way to play to them, like it can be cool.
Yeah,
Especially bringing in Scarbrand, not taking mortal wounds, and bringing in with 4 dice. Oh
that's
yeah.
true. Or
oh, yeah.
you know, I mean, I've already seen people characterize the what is it? You can take is it the Heart player from Slanesh? I forget what it's called. To get like +2 to a summon roll or something like that. If you were to run, there's some kind of
Yeah, there's plenty of characters. You mean word bearers? They get pluses to summoning.
that's what it is, I think. But yeah, I know there's a harp model too that came out that does something weird. I don't know if it was good for obliterators, but somebody was already.
No, that's good for obliterators in a weird combo that is out there that I just don't see it necessarily working too well. So with these new obliterators, they've gone up in points dramatically. I mean, it used to be 3 for 195 points. They were only T4. They only got 4 shots apiece. Now they're going to get 6 shots apiece at T5. They used to have 3 wounds. Now they got 4 wounds. But now they're 115 points apiece. What's nice is you can bring them as a solo in case you want to like save them to turn 3, drop into someone's lines because it is only one model. Because going up to 3 of them, granted you have way more firepower. They're going to stay around a lot longer. It's a lot more points. Like it's hard to fit those points in as it is. So they try to compare them to having 2 of them is like having the old 3, which is close. I think mathematically I'd rather have 3 just because of the extra like damages some of these weapons do. But with 2 of them, you're still going up like 15 or something more points. Like you're still going up there, like, and you're only having 2. So it's hard to like justify big squads of them like having 3. But if you have 3 with the new Enchantress, I think that's her name. She has like a reanimation ability where a Slanesh demon.
That's what it is.
A Slanesh demon unit within 6 inches, if they lost a model on a 6-up, you regain a model, and it's meant for demonettes and like reanimating your demonettes. But obliterators fall under the Slanesh demon rule if you rock them as Slanesh because endless cacophony. So if you lost one and she's near you and you roll a 6-up, you get a 115 point model back. Like she's not even 115 points. So like if you make it happen once, it can be worth it. Especially if you are rocking them as Black Legion and you're rocking them with Abaddon or just a Lord even and giving them the rerolls and you maybe run 3 units of them because you can and you're really going to stock heavy into obliterators, she could be useful. But other than that, it's kind of like a shot in the dark for sure. Why are you so shaky, Chris?
Sorry, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was sending a message to someone, but I digress. I mean, yeah, that's a nasty kind of combo. Unfortunately, with the 6-up, I feel like it's obviously not the most reliable thing. But at the same time, like it encourages larger squads. But like, I mean, it's interesting. If you're the kind of person that's gonna run like 9 obliterators as points heavy as they are, sure.
So think about this now. With this new Demonkin stuff, you can warp time your summoner. Like he can move, then you can warp time him. You can even advance him, then warp time, get all that extra inches. And then he can cast the spell that allows him to summon something. You can do this turn 1 because it's not reinforcements, it's just your reinforcement points. And you can summon at any turn in the game. So then you can summon like Scarbrand or something 9 inches away from your opponent. It could be fantastic. Turn 1. Slicker's right there. I mean, those are the type of dreams I have. It's just having that cool stuff. And I don't know if you can run just 1 of them or 2 of them, but I would like to run 2 of them and just summon 2 big units right up in their face. Like, because turn 1, boom. Screw all your other stuff. And just have combat from there out, that point out, and have, like, demon engines walk on their way up. I think it'd be so much fun.
Yeah, I think it would be a cool army, especially because, like, honestly, I know that for me, the demon engines, like the Mauler Fiends, are some of my favorite models in that lineup. It's kind of like, especially if you're, like, from the fluffy basis of players, like, if you're, like, an old school, like, what is it, Iron Warriors player, like, those are the kinds of things you want to run. So, like, obviously, if you're, like, an Iron Warriors fanboy, like, this is, I think, a really good release for you.
I wonder who goes hard to the paint and brings that guy, like the new character, and a couple Lord of Skulls.
Ooh.
Because you got Demon Legion keyword.
That'd be awesome.
And like they'll get the extra +1 to hit. and then like they can run into combat with them, so whatever they're going against gets neg one to hit.
Gross.
And they're just sitting there healing the Lord of Skulls as they're running around, and you just keep putting Cursed Earth on it, like 4-up Invul, Lord of Skulls running at you.
Yeah, that'd be. I mean, I'm not super scared of the Lord of Skulls, but I have a really biased experience against it.
Dude, I just think it'd be funny. Like you could
Yeah.
rock a Supreme Command of like a sorcerer, the possessed guy, and then that thing running around. I mean, you can't even bring a sorcerer because I'm thinking World Eaters because of Lord of Skulls. Can you bring a Black Legion Lord of Skulls? I'm not even sure.
I guess.
I just don't play Lord of Skulls and know, but I think you can. I think you can. I don't think it's just Khorne. I think it has to be the mark of Khorne, but I think it could be any Legion as far as undivided Legions go. So if you bring it as Black Legion, you could have a sorcerer that can cast some powers on it. Then you can have that thing, the possessed dude doing Curse Earth on it, and then you can have the little spider thing walking around healing it. Like it could just be crazy. I'd just laugh my ass off seeing that shit.
Yeah. The 9 new Vanguard snipers are neg 3 AP, 4 strength, D3 damage, 6 to wound. With Captain Sniper. Yeah, that's solid. That's something we're seeing.
Dude,
that's something we're seeing a lot more of.
Those denied 12 inches things. Oof.
That's a new mechanic we're seeing. I mean, the first one that I saw was the Genestealer Cult Canvas, or no, the Nexus. But that's becoming a much more common thing, and that's. I think a lot of people didn't realize how important it is because they don't conceive it. It's like, oh yeah, 12-inch denial, but like you can't declare a charge against stuff if you're out of 12. So like, it's really good reserve denial.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, it scares me with my current tactics of very limited shooting. It's very difficult for me to get rid of those guys for my chargers to get in from reserves.
Yeah.
So I'm truly scared of that mechanic. And that's where I'm like hoping Demon can save me and like give me this tough shooting base while having the summoning being able to bring in my combat base and not have to worry about it being shot off the table. Granted, I lose some of my short charges and stuff, but I mean, if I can get a 9-inch charge, or 8-inch charge because of the horn, like even if it's not re-rollable, I'll be all right about it if I get enough of them.
Definitely. No, I mean, I'm super excited as well. I mean, I know we touched on it briefly, but like this new Vigilus book, I really think this year, and I could be just completely talking out of my ass. I think it's going to be the year of chaos. Honestly, I think I don't want to build your hopes up, James, but
I hope so, man. I really do, man. Like I want to race to like the cream of the top with like a proper army instead of sitting down here at the bottom. Because it's not that cool when you're the king of the shit.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I think a lot of people expect, continuing to talk about Adepticon. I think a lot of people are expecting at least a slight hike on Castellans again because they're still being fielded left and right.
Dude, I heard they're gonna get 100-point nerf. Dude, I don't know where that like wording was coming from, but like that brings it to an unplayable point.
I completely agree with you because I feel like they're only like they're good enough to field right now, but like I mean, dude, like I'm not like I have plans for dealing with them. You know what I mean? Like I go into games against them and I'm like, yeah, I can handle that. Like it may not be easy, but I can handle it.
Dude, what's crazy is I never have a problem with it because of my list style. Like it just does nothing to my army. So it's like the guard that supports it is my problem. Like nerf that. Nerf that, not the knight. I'm okay with the knight. It's the supporting shit because they literally maybe kill like 11, 12 cultists tops a turn, sometimes the whole game. And like that's from a knight. But from everything else, it's like they play me with like 1,200 points and kick my ass. Like guard is so nasty for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know, and it's unfortunate too because like there are some guard players that are more purist or like that aren't running knights, and it's like like you don't want to take away that tool from them, but at the same time, like you know what? I mean, The Imperium is kind of fascist.
They're all Nazis. They're space Nazis from the future.
It's true.
It's like when they win.
Join the Four-Armed Emperor. He's a much more merciful god.
Yeah, he'll just eat you for the lunch. This is a purpose. At least it's a circle of life. All right.
Eighth gone too far with White Dwarf. Okay, so Chris, so seventh, in my opinion, I got to be honest, sixth and seventh were my least favorite editions. I feel like they were a nuclear arms race that escalated the meta to absurd proportions with destroyer weapons and the like. This is me editorializing. This is not the opinion of Warp Charge Gaming. This is my opinion.
Yeah, he doesn't speak for me.
Exactly.
You may enjoy sucking dick, not I.
Oof. I mean, listen, what I do for money on the side is none of your business. But I digress. So, like, seventh, psychic powers were insane. The super heavies were insane and priced way too low. Seventh and sixth almost escalated the standard 40k game into, like, miniature versions of Apocalypse games. Eighth, I think, has kind of toned that back. And one of the biggest gains in 8th edition is that every year, the Inception, when we got an Index, and Chapter Proof 2017, and Chapter Proof 2018, every single faction gets updated annually. So that is really a game changer from any previous edition player. It's not the same, man. Like, you're not going to have these armies that are, like, just left to dry forever. I mean, like, yes, there are some, like, lower strength codexes. People still complain about Grey Knights or Necrons. And I'm not saying unjustifiably so, but, like, it's not the same game where, like, armies don't get updated for, like, 3 years, 10 years. Like,
dude, it almost gets updated too fast at this point. Like, at least for a hobbyist, like, you can't fit the time into, like, make a super sweet army and keep it and, like, play it for a long time at events. Like, you can't play the same list at every event for a whole year like you could in previous editions.
I agree with you, but I almost feel like, and maybe I'm wrong because 7th edition was only like 2 years, but like I feel 7th had more rapid fire releases. They just weren't as like faction unilateral. Like, when it was your faction's time to go, you got a bunch of updates and then you just got ignored for the rest of the edition.
Yeah. It gave you time to hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, on that metric, that's a good point. It did give you time to hobby. But it also, like, the power creep in 7th was intense. And maybe I just say that because I was a Tyranid player and we got done early and then just got fucked.
Well, you got done in 6th. You never even got a book for 7th edition.
Yeah, we got the trial formations. Like, we were the only army to get all digital formations. We didn't even get any kind of paper formations, and like all our formations were awful. I mean, we got that Rising Leviathan book in 7th, which was nice because it let us be more spammy than most armies, but it wasn't really what I would call...
The best thing you had in 7th was the introduction to Cult.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're completely... you were 100% right. At the very end of 7th edition, I bought like 3 Deathwatch Overkill boxes and started my Genestealer Cult army, and it played a lot like old school Chaos Demons. Very random, very crazy. Everyone I played against loved playing against me because like the army was really strong, but like every game was different because it depended on how I rolled my dice. It wasn't necessarily random in a bad way, but it was like, who knows what's going to happen? Like, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think 8th edition is the best edition of 40k that I've played. And I started the game. I mean, I started reading the rules in the tail end of 3rd edition, but I'd read like 6 codexes at that point, just kind of studying the game. And I officially started in 4th edition. Dude, and man,
for me, I still love 7th. You know why? Because that was my army, Khorne Demonkin. It got taken away from me, and now I'm like still trying to find my mojo.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is that you have a unique experience in that you were the top Khorne Demonkin player.
Dude, it has nothing to do with being the top Khorne Demonkin player. It was the fact that Khorne Demonkin, it was the army that I was like, I like to play this one. It has like demons. It's got Chaos Space Marines. They can go together. I got this thing called Blood Tithe. Like, I got summoning for free without having to summon. Like, I got buffs for free, which is killing stuff or dying. Like, it had all these mechanics that I just enjoyed that if it wasn't for that army, I wouldn't be as gung-ho about the game. And it drove me to playing that army so much that I've made a list that brought me to the top of that faction. And I was like doing well at tournaments against other factions that should have been crushing me, as far as other armies go. And it's because like I had just the right formula of forge ruled units, blood tide summoning, and like the formations working, where like it just kept rolling in waves of combat, where it wasn't a whole lot of shooting, but like I got into combat right away because it's fast enough stuff. Then my slower stuff would get there, and by the time it got there, I was now summoning stuff, and it would just keep the pace going. And like the game just felt so like interactive, because it wasn't like I was getting shot off the board because I didn't care, because I knew I was going to get into combat. Like I knew that if you killed enough stuff, I was going to at least get a free unit to get into combat. With this edition, like if I get shot off the board, like those are my points gone. Like I don't feel like it's worth getting shot at anymore. So I have to find ways to not get shot by like touching models here, dragging toe here, like trying to just deep strike the things that matter and keep everything else just like your targets are cultists or nerdlings. Like I had to play this weird game that's very horde-like, where I really enjoyed the MSU that I used to play, like very elite style, like huge point models like a Bloodthirster and a Demon Knight, and then I had like a Rhino. I had like all these little things. I even ran Possessed, and I made them good. Like I miss that. So I'm always trying to find that now with 8th edition. It's like I like the game as a whole better. I can see the balance a little bit better. I like how they address things, but it doesn't give you time to hobby is like the biggest negative. And like combat is not rewarded enough. Like it's extremely powerful, but there's enough mechanics to get out of it. And now you're making mechanics of like I can't even charge you when I do come in. So it's very difficult to be a melee enjoying player. So I'm hoping Demon can changes it. It gives me some shooting, and my guys are strong enough to get into combat, so it's like I can keep pushing forward. But we'll see. But we have pretty much been talking well over an hour about just cults and chaos. It's interesting when George is not here.
It's a different dynamic. We don't have our like circus tent ringleader who is like kind of being his I don't know, cane top hat wearing self. But at the same time, that's how I picture George for anyone who didn't know. But it's been fairly relevant though with all the chaos releases, and with the incoming Adepticon, I think we're in a really exciting point in the hobby right now, especially in 8th edition, internal just to this edition, and I'm excited to see what Adepticon brings. That FAQ, that's actually just before we're out. That's one of the nice things I appreciate about 8th edition is that I feel like every year it's almost like a new mini game. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
I said, 3 months from now, it's not going to be the same game as it is today.
Yep.
My army's going to be different. I'm going to be painting something else. It's just I wish I could have a cohesive whole. Like I really wish I could just army out like or model or hobby out on one army, making it look beautiful, because I haven't been collecting for 10, 20 years. I want to have something nice like that. But right now, it's like I get a unit here, I make it fit. I get a unit here, I make it fit. So like my characters are painted really nicely, but I don't take pride in my troops like I want to.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I mean, in 7th edition, like you found your army. I was kind of chasing mine. That's how I ended up expanding into Space Wolves, chasing that kind of close combat throw. And now I'm selling off my Space Wolves to reinvest in Cult.
Cold. Well, it's been fun, guys. Really enjoy the Thursday evenings with you. You'll have George here next week. It's going to be our last week before it's Adepticon, and that Thursday it's definitely Adepticon, so we will not be having a show that Thursday unless we somehow manage it. I don't know.
I mean, we may live stream from like a cell phone or something for a few minutes, but I don't think we're going to have a show.
It won't be a full show. So you'll at least get us next week, and we'll be super hyped about Adepticon. So get hyped with us. Keep taking fun seriously. We will catch you guys next week.
Adios.